It's time for America Outdoors Radio, the show that covers the outdoor scene across the U.S. of A. and the entire continent. Fishing, hunting, conservation, outdoor recreation, and great destinations. We cover it all every week. It's your country, your outdoors. Let's explore it together with your host, John Cruz.
Welcome to the show. Boy, oh boy, that Christmas gift giveaway show last week was all sorts of fun, but one person still hasn't responded for their gift. That would be, and I hope he's listening, Wyatt Osowski. He was tuning into our show on WZFG AM 1100 out of Fargo, North Dakota last week. And you know what, Wyatt? You were drawn as the winner of that $1,300 pellet grill from Camp Chef, but you haven't responded to any of the 3 emails I've sent you. So if you are listening, or if any friends of Wyatt Osowski are listening, have him contact me by Sunday with the same email that he used before. He can do so through our website at americaoutdoorsradio.com. And if you don't, Wyatt, you're going to lose out. But one of the other entrants, and there were a lot of them, will be drawn as an alternate winner on Monday if you don't respond. So there's probably some folks rooting against you here because they're going to want this grill. But I want to give it to you, Wyatt. You were drawn as the winner, so please respond through our website at americaoutdoorsradio.com. As I said, that show was a lot of fun, and my thanks to everyone who participated. But even if you didn't win, we sure gave you some great ideas about things to buy for the holidays. And if you missed the show, here are a few suggestions. Number 1, how about a Henry repeating arms lever action rifle like the Golden Boy, a 22 caliber rifle, and you can put that in one of the rifle cases that we gave away and wear a really nice hat while you're doing it. Anna Connor in California is one person who has one of those beautiful Golden Boy lever action rifles, and she won a case to put it in. She's pretty happy about that. You can check out the Golden Boy and other rifles from Henry at henryusa.com. They would make a great gift for Christmas. Or how about a knife and tool sharpener from Worksharp? Matt White, tuning into our flagship station of 560 KPQ in Wenatchee, Washington, won the new and improved Mark II electric knife and tool sharpener, and it packs a lot of punch for only $99. You can check that one out at worksharptools.com. Fishing lures are always a good bet and stocking stuffer, and it's hard to beat spoons from Daredevil by Eppinger, whether you are after trout, pike, muskie, or bass. Daredevil lures have literally been catching fish since 1906, and I've lost count on how many trout and bass I've caught over the years using them. Check them out at eppinger.net. They're located in Dearborn, Michigan. Camp Chef, as you know, was kind enough to give away a Woodwind Pro pellet grill, retailing for $1,300 last week, but there are lots of other pellet grills and propane grills and stoves available too that are less expensive and that are absolutely perfect for the back patio, not to mention ovens and stoves that are perfect for camping, whether you're at elk camp or the state park. Find out what they've got to offer you at campchef.com. And winter is a great time for reading and fly tying too, and Stackpole Books had a whole bunch of fly fishing and fly tying books for us to give away last week. You can check out their lineup of books for anglers at stackpolebooks.com. Something else that's perfect for Christmas? How about the gift of travel and adventure? I know I'll be taking my best friend of 46 years, Rusty Johnston, fishing this summer at Sportsman's Cove Lodge in Southeast Alaska. Now, this lodge is on Prince of Wales Island. It's just a short float plane ride away from Ketchikan, and the lodge offers not only great fishing from comfortable boats for salmon, halibut, and other bottom fish, but you are going to dine like a king or a queen, and the customer service is unparalleled with a guest-to-staff ratio of 1-to-1. There's a reason it's called Alaska's Best Lodge, and if you want to buy a fishing trip for you and a buddy, or maybe your child or your spouse, well, the website to go to is alaskasbestlodge.com. Another travel adventure you can buy for Christmas would be a bass fishing trip to either Mexico or Brazil. Mike Whitlow at Anglers Inn International hosted a fantastic trip I went on in May to their lodge at Lake El Salto near Mazatlan, where I beat my previous personal best bass record several times over. My best bass during the trip was just over 8 pounds, but several anglers in our group caught bass over 10 pounds. Talk about the bass of a lifetime. Mike will join us later in the show to tell you about the trips you can take to Lake El Salto, New Lake Picachos, and to the Amazon in Brazil. Sticking with fishing, someone else we will get to chat with today is Neil Combs with Lowrance. This company has just come out with the ultimate fishing system, networking all of your marine electronics from the bow of your boat to the stern. We are talking about the sonar units with the new HDS Pro, the trolling motor, and heck, even the power poles. Couple that with new and improved resolution on the fish finders, and you've got something serious anglers and tournament anglers alike going after bass and walleye will be lusting for this Christmas. Our other guest today, that would be Tina Pattison. She is the president and the founder of the Hunt of a Lifetime Foundation. It's an organization that sponsors this show, and we are proud to highlight them. Here's what they do. They take young men and women, age 21 or under, out on the hunt of a lifetime. Now, all of these people going on these hunts get to do so for free, and they're all suffering from serious life-threatening disabilities or illnesses. It's all about making a very special memory, and organizations like Make-A-Wish Foundation don't offer hunting trips, and that's actually how Tina got into this. It started with her own son, who wanted to go on a hunting trip, and she was able to make that happen with a little help, and she was so inspired by that she started this organization, and she is sending kids out on hunting trips. I'm talking serious hunting trips in Canada and throughout North America for big game, ranging from deer to elk to moose to bear every year. All of this, as you might imagine, takes a lot of work. Tina runs this nonprofit with the help of a number of volunteers. But the main thing they need, though, is funding, because these trips, they're expensive. And even at discounted rates from the guides and taxidermists and all of that, it costs money to fly these kids to their destination along with their guardian, to transport them, because sometimes there's some real transport issues based on the condition of the child, to feed them, to outfit them with clothing and rifles, and more. And this being Christmas, it is the perfect time to give to an organization like this. We'll tell you more, but if you want to check it out now and consider a donation, it would really be appreciated. The website to go to is huntofalifetime.org. That's huntofalifetime.org. All right, before we talk to our guest today, I think we've got time for one fishing story for you, and I think you're going to like this one. This one's from Newsweek, and it's all about an angler who caught a super rare dinosaur fish out of the Kansas River in Kansas. The fish in question was a lake sturgeon. It's an endangered fish, and according to the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks, it's only the 16th reported catch of one of these fish in the last 25 years. The angler who caught it, that would be Kevin Surjax, and he said, "I knew I had a special fish once I landed this fish. Never thought I would ever see one of these dinosaurs, let alone be able to actually hold one. Definitely a catch I will remember for the rest of my life." After taking photos with the fish, Surjax released it back into the water. I think you can find a picture of Kevin Surjax and his fish by going to the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks Facebook page. Lake sturgeon, by the way, they're called dinosaurs for a reason. In the Great Lakes, they first appeared in the fossil record about 135 million years ago. That is a long, long time ago. And these lake sturgeon, they can live very long lives, with females reportedly living for as long as 150 years. So it's fantastic that Kevin was able to not only catch it, but safely release it, and hopefully it'll grow to a ripe old age. Congratulations, Kevin. Stick around, we've got more fishing and hunting coming your way on America Outdoors Radio.
Hunt of a Lifetime is a nationwide nonprofit organization dedicated to providing hunting and fishing trips to youth 21 and under who suffer from life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. These adventures make big differences in the lives of those who participate in them, and in many cases are literally a dream come true that brings hope and therapy to their lives. Find out more, get involved, or donate today at huntofalifetime.org. That's huntofalifetime.org. huntofalifetime.org.
In today's news, I'm cooking a brisket. Let's go to Jill at my house to see how it's going.
This is your house and you brought me and the crew to check on your brisket?
That's correct, Jill. How's it looking?
This is a Camp Chef Woodwind Wi-Fi. You know you can check your cook right from your phone, right?
I didn't know that was an option, Jill. Well, never mind. But before you leave, can you feed the dog?
What? No.
When we get back, why is my check engine light on? The answer may shock me.
Why book at Sportsman's Cove Lodge?
Why is Alaska like no other place on Earth? It hasn't changed in thousands of years.
From the way you get here on a float plane to the way you go out with the guides and the boats, it's just a professional experience.
And I said, this is as good as it gets. I said, if you can't catch fish here, you can't catch fish anywhere.
Your experience with us will leave you speechless.
Book now at alaskasbestlodge.com.
Come explore the Dalles in Oregon for outdoors fun. Hike amongst the wildflowers, bike our riverfront trail, or visit the Gorge Discovery Center where you can enjoy a live raptor display, or even check out our National Neon Sign Museum. But don't forget the fishing. We've got salmon, steelhead, bass, walleye, and monster-sized sturgeon waiting just for you. When the day is done, tell those tall tales at one of our wineries, breweries, or restaurants and plan your next adventure. Find out more at explorethedalles.com.
From a bull elk ripping a bugle across the valley to wing beats on a duck marsh, public lands and waters are integral to our outdoor heritage. Become a member of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers and stand up for our public lands and waters. Visit backcountryhunters.org today.
You're back in with America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. It is my privilege to introduce you to Tina Pattison. She is the president and founder of the Hunt of a Lifetime Foundation. This is a great nonprofit that takes youth that are 21 and under out on literally the hunt of a lifetime for no cost to themselves. The catch is, unfortunately, these kids that are going out, they all suffer from life-threatening disabilities and illnesses. Tina, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about this organization and how you came about founding it. And I guess it all comes back to your child, doesn't it?
Yes, my son, Matthew.
Go ahead. Tell us more.
Okay, Matthew was 16 and was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is curable, but he had a rare type. And at 18, he went out of remission and had to have a stem cell transplant. So I asked him if he had one wish that needed granted, what would it be? And he wanted to go to Canada to do a moose hunt. So I started making calls. And, of course, my first call was the other wish organization.
Sure.
And they said, nope, we don't do hunt no more. I said, okay, well, you had to have somebody that helped you find them. So they gave me the name of somebody in Pittsburgh. It's the Safari Club International, Don Federoff. He will forever hold a place in my heart. I called him, told him what was going on with my son, that he had just went through a stem cell transplant, that he would love to go on a moose hunt in Canada. Being the parents of 6 boys, it just was not in our expense account to do that.
Sure.
He said, it's April. I said, yeah, I know. I raised 6 boys in the hunting industry, so going to an expo was not going to happen because they were over and most people sold their hunts at the different outdoor expos. But he said, I'll give you a couple leads. So he gave me the leads and I hung up. But Don didn't feel that God wanted him to stop there, so Don did his own searching, but I didn't know that. I did mine and found a hunt for him the next year, so that would have been the fall of 99. This was April of 98 when I started the calls. In July, I got a call from a Safari Outfitters in Cody, Wyoming, saying that they found an outfitter that wanted to take Matt out in Canada, in Alberta, and it was Gene Grosso, is now the son, that bought the business. It used to belong to Clayton Grosso out of Grosso Outfitters. So they told me that there was no expenses on our end. Everything was covered. Safari Club's covered the airline flights. Cody, Wyoming Safari Outfitters covered the taxidermy and the rifle. He didn't want the rifle, though. We took and got him out that October. He got his moose. The whole village of Nordic, Alberta, Canada donated everything on their end.
Wow.
Satellite phone, helicopter ride, in and out, because he was having problems with clotting ability after having a stem cell transplant. Everything they could need for camp was donated by the village. The outfitter donated his hunt because his wife had just had her arm removed due to cancer, so they understood what was going on. He got his moose, and that was October 6th of 1998. We lost him April 28th of 1999.
This is an incredible story, Tina. Absolutely heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time. And I guess I've got to ask, most people after this would have just been grateful and would have tried to move on with life. But you did the opposite. You decided to found this organization that essentially does the same thing that all these folks did for Matthew.
Exactly. Everything was covered. Me shipping home a rifle, but he didn't want one. He had his trusty 308, and he was happy with that. He said he didn't want a new one. Shoulder mount, all the airline flights back and forth, everything was covered from beginning to end. We had no expenses on our end. And so when Matt passed away, I asked the good Lord if this is what he wanted me to do. And after a lot of praying and the best Christmas gift I could get, we decided to move on. The first child that came to me was Matthew, and it was Christmas Eve, which is a family tradition, one of the best holidays ever, that my mother loved. And we had lost my mother the same year Matthew got diagnosed with cancer, of the same type of cancer.
Oh, my gosh.
So, yeah, 1995 wasn't a good year.
No.
That's when we got hit. And then 1999, I just started praying, and by Christmas, I had had my first youth, and it was a Matthew. So it was what led me to know that this was where God wanted me to go, and was to make other dreams happen for other kids.
If you might not even know the number anymore, how many kids have you been able to take out on hunts and fishing trips since then?
We're up over 1,200. I don't have an exact count because we still have a few here and there that might make it out before Christmas, but we're definitely over 1,200.
That's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing that you're able to do this for other kids, other families, what was done for you. It makes me proud to partner with you in this endeavor and to highlight this on this show. What are a couple of the hunts that kids have gone out on this year?
This year, well, we've had moose hunts to Vermont, Maine, and Newfoundland. We've had elk hunts in Idaho. Oh, we also had a moose hunt in Idaho. We've held elk hunts in Idaho, Oregon, Colorado, Wyoming, and Arizona, and New Mexico. And then some in Tennessee, the kids that are not physically able to go out west and do the mountains go to Tennessee on a 4,000-acre ranch and hunt there for elk. We've had a couple mule deer hunts. Both girls that went mule deer hunting were successful. We've had a couple buffalo hunts. We've had one grizzly bear, and we've had about 5-6 fishing trips all over the United States.
Absolutely amazing. And we need to point out, these trips, just like the one offered to Matthew, all the expenses are taken care of, but that costs money. And that means donations are necessary. And it being the Christmas season, folks, this is a wonderful time to not only give to family and friends, but also to give to worthy causes. Tell our listeners how folks can help Hunt of a Lifetime Foundation through donations.
Any type of donation is welcome. We've had people give us brand new hunting clothes for the kids. That saves us buying them with the gift cards. Donations of funds, definitely. That covers their airline, their taxidermy, their meat shipping, anything like that. We do get discounts on our taxidermy. A lot of the taxidermists are wonderful. They do it for free. We use them for airline tickets. We also use them to buy their gear. We can't send a kid hunting without the appropriate gear, especially these kids. We don't want them to get wet or sick or cold and then sick. So we always give them a $600 gift card to go purchase the appropriate clothing and boots. So the funds are welcomed in any type. Somebody has a gift card they don't want, we use it for a child. Somebody has frequent flyer miles that can purchase a ticket. We can't combine them. We have yet to get the airlines to do what they do for Make-A-Wish, which is just throw them all into an account that we can tap into. So the tickets would have to be the full price of the frequent flyer miles, the full price of a ticket, because we can't use the partial.
Gotcha. We are running short on time, but folks, if this story has touched your heart as much as it's touched mine, I hope you will go to the following website, huntofalifetime.org. That's the website for the Hunt of a Lifetime Foundation. It's huntofalifetime.org. Go to the donations page and make a donation. Help this organization out that is helping so many kids out to enjoy a hunt despite their life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. It's a memory that these kids will treasure, and you can help them make that memory. The website again, huntofalifetime.org, and just go to the donations tab and give what you can. Tina, thank you for what you do. Merry Christmas, my dear, and keep staying strong.
Merry Christmas to you, too. And the memories don't just go to the children, they go to the families. If the child passes away, unfortunately, the families write about the memories they had, making that dream come true and being with them while they were dreaming. So Merry Christmas to everybody. God bless anybody that can help us, and have a blessed New Year.
Hunt of a Lifetime is a nationwide nonprofit organization dedicated to providing hunting and fishing trips to youth 21 and under who suffer from life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. These adventures make big differences in the lives of those who participate in them, and in many cases are literally a dream come true that brings hope and therapy to their lives. Find out more, get involved, or donate today at huntofalifetime.org. That's huntofalifetime.org. huntofalifetime.org.
From a bull elk ripping a bugle across the valley to wing beats on a duck marsh, public lands and waters are integral to our outdoor heritage. Become a member of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers and stand up for our public lands and waters. Visit backcountryhunters.org today.
Welcome back to America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. I got my old friend Mike Whitlow on the line. He's with Anglers Inn International. And if you are looking for a unique and wonderful gift to give somebody for Christmas, consider a fishing trip to Mexico for largemouth bass or to the Amazon for some more exotic fish. Mike, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, John. Glad to be back.
So let's talk a little bit about what you offer. I was lucky enough earlier this year to go fishing with you at Lake El Salto, caught the biggest bass of my life, absolutely loved the entire experience. And I guess we'll start there because that's where Billy Chapman started. Anglers Inn International was there. Tell our listeners about Lake El Salto and why folks from novices to experienced anglers to even the bass pros themselves love to go there.
Well, John, it was a fun trip with you last May, and we hope to get you back down there to one of the best, if not the best in my mind, bass lakes in the world. We've got some of the best largemouth bass fishing at famous Lake El Salto and also our new lake Pacachos, but it's an all-inclusive bass fishing destination. It's our Disneyland for bass guys. And let me tell you what.
Very well put. Why don't you walk our listeners through a trip to Lake El Salto? It all starts off flying to Mazatlan, and we'll talk about Mazatlan in a minute, but we'll just kind of say, okay, so you're going to take a van or a bus to Lake El Salto and to Anglers Inn. What happens when you get there?
Yeah, John, you just have to book your flights into Mazatlan, Mexico, and we will pick you up in our private vans. We'll whisk you away up to either lodge, whichever destination you chose. Our staff will greet you at the lodge with cold margaritas in hand, get you whisked off to your own room at our lodges, and start getting you set up for your bass fishing vacation. Typical trip is 4 nights, 3.5 days of fishing. And once you get there, it's all inclusive. Your lodging, your meals, your drinks, open bar, laundry service every day. Your guide, we're fishing out of 18-foot Triton aluminum boats. I'm telling you, this is a bass fishing dream for most guys. Bucket list, but also once you go once, you're going to want to go back.
Oh, you are so right. I know. I can't wait to go back again. And folks, the staff here is just amazing. They are wonderful. They've been there a long time. They will take care of you and pamper you like nobody's business. The food is excellent. The drinks are fantastic. You'll never walk around empty, so to speak, waiting for a drink. They're right there for you. It's just great. And the fishing, like you said, is just amazing. I mean, big bass, lots of bass, and all sorts of wildlife, too. Lake El Salto is a wonderful thing. Now, I never got the chance to go to New Lake Picachos, and that really intrigues me as a destination. Tell us about this resort.
Well, this resort, it's a little bit different. The lake is newer, so the bass are not as big as at Lake El Salto. However, we are catching fish in the double-digit range already, but the numbers are amazing. The lake was flooded about 11, 12 years ago. All this timber in the water is just a completely different lake than El Salto. It's on a river. Just so many fish in that 3 to 5 pound range. And I mean, they are just packed up in wolf packs, and they are chewing all the time, all year round.
This being a newer resort, newer accommodations, obviously, what else is different from this experience in Lake El Salto?
Well, the one thing that's different is at El Salto, our lodge is a little bit, it's right on the lake, but it's a little bit away from it. At Lake Picachos, you can actually, when the water's up, you can fish from our dining room and toss out and catch a bass. We are right on the water. The little casitas are overlooking right on top of the lake. It's just, I mean, a stone's throw from your room, and or actually a cast from your room. You know, and you can be catching fish at Lake Picachos. Just a beautiful setting in the Sierra Madre Mountains.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was actually talking to one of the guests during our trip who's been to both destinations, and he was telling me, you know, he basically said, John, I know that they're telling you that the bass at Lake Picachos aren't as big, but he says one of my biggest bass was actually caught at Lake Picachos, so there are some big ones there, and don't get me wrong, I mean, I'll catch 3 to 5 pound bass all day with a smile on my face. That is fantastic.
Absolutely.
Got to talk about the next destination, a little more exotic, the Amazon. Understand you are heading there pretty soon.
I am. I'm hosting a group of 18. We're headed to the famous Rio Negro in the middle of the Amazon jungle in January. Looking forward to hitting those giant peacock bass during the spawn. Everybody's looking for their 20-pounder. That's the benchmark, but lots of fish in that 10 to 15, 18-pound range is going to be caught.
Now, tell me about the accommodations at this location. It's a little bit different than the Mexico locations, isn't it?
It absolutely is. So we are on a floating suite. We've got our own shallow drafting yacht. We pull the bass boats behind it, so we're very mobile. We can fish, you know, all of the Rio Negro and its tributaries, always moving to where the fish are at. You know, we never stay. If the fish aren't biting, we're constantly moving. Our guides and our captains, they stay on the fish. But just a very unique operation. And let me tell you, in the middle of nowhere. Beautiful, beautiful place in the Amazon jungle.
And just like the operations in Mexico, I presume this one's all-inclusive?
This one is all-inclusive. All of our operations are. And once you get there, again, we'll greet you at the airport in our private vans and whisk you away. Everything's included in that package. You just need to give me a call, and let's get you off on an adventure of a lifetime.
Now, folks, there's 2 ways you can book a trip to any of these 3 destinations through Anglers International. Your first stop is anglersin.com. That's the website, anglersin.com. And you're going to find trips that you can take to all 3 destinations. And you basically have the choice of doing it on your own or doing it with a host like Mike Whitlow. And I would highly recommend using Mike as a host. And here's why. Mike is going to give you some insider information. He's going to be able to take care of you in ways that you're not going to be able to really take care of yourself if you go it alone, and things you aren't going to know if you go it alone. For example, tackle. You know, Mike sent me a list of here's the tackle you really need to bring if you want to be successful at Lake El Salto. And I brought it, and it worked like a champ. Well, as we were getting ready to leave, a group came in that was non-hosted. They didn't have anybody. They just booked on their own. And the guy is like, what are you catching them on? I'm like, well, I'm catching them on this. You know, these Berkeley War Pigs are money down here. And he's like, I don't have any of those. It's like, well, I'll tell you what. Let me give you 1 or 2 here that I'll just give you. But he wasn't geared up the right way. The other thing that Mike does is he can arrange post and pre-stays. So we stayed at the El Cid Resort in Mazatlan, all-inclusive resort, right at the marina in Mazatlan. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And for folks that maybe just don't want to go all in on a hardcore fishing trip and that's it. You know, they want a couple of days of rest and relaxation, a traditional Mexican oceanfront resort. This is great, and Mike can help you with that. So if you want to go on one of these trips, book a stay at anglersin.com and ask for Mike Whitlow. That's your host. Mike Whitlow is your host. He will take care of you like he took care of me, like he took care of everybody else on our trip. You're going to absolutely love the experience. And if you're looking for a wonderful Christmas gift that your loved one is going to appreciate for the rest of their life in terms of memories and fun, a trip to Brazil, a trip to Mexico, fishing for bass is something they're going to really enjoy, and especially if you go ahead and add in a couple of days at a resort on top of that. Mike, anything else you want to add?
Well, I just 2 days ago booked a Christmas vacation for some gentleman in Ontario, Canada. His wife reached out to me. I handled all the itinerary. It's in an envelope and a Christmas card that he's going to receive under the Christmas tree. And let me tell you, it's been his bucket list for 15 years, and he's going to be excited. He's joining me on one of the hosted groups. And John, you're right. I go above and beyond. I go the extra mile to make sure that it is a vacation of a lifetime for you. So feel free to give me a call, 509-378-2814, or you can even email me at mike.whitlow@anglersin.com, and I'll respond right away, and we'll get you off on a trip of a lifetime.
That email again, mike.whitlow, Whitlow spelled W-H-I-T-L-O-W, mike.whitlow@anglersin.com. That's mike.whitlow@anglersin.com. Shoot him an email and give somebody a very special gift for Christmas. Mike, here's wishing you and Andrea a very Merry Christmas too.
And same to you, and can't wait to get you back down there.
Looking for the perfect gift for the hunter or shooter in your life? Give them a Henry. These American-made lever-action guns shoot straight and have a classic Western look. Choose from a .22 caliber Henry for plinking, a heavier caliber for hunting, or even a shotgun for birds and small game. Better still, these guns come in all sorts of finishes, covering everything from use in the field or on the range to showing off the best-looking firearm in your zip code. Henry rifles and shotguns come with a lifetime guarantee. And if you help need deciding what Henry is right for you, just ask. The award-winning customer service team at henryusa.com will be happy to help you out. So, go to henryusa.com and order a free catalog and holiday gift guide. Then, find what you like, look for a dealer near you, and get a gift that will put a real smile on someone's face this holiday season. Start searching for your Henry now at henryusa.com. That's henryusa.com.
Are you looking to reel in the marketing opportunity of a lifetime? Then set the hook, because we've got it right here for you. America Outdoors Radio has sponsorships available, and we offer affordable platforms to reach thousands of listeners interested in fishing, hunting, and the outdoors. Find out more by contacting John Cruz through his website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. That's AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. Hurry, though. If you wait too long, the big opportunity might get away.
We've been telling you about Sportsman's Cove Lodge in Southeast Alaska for a while now. They're truly Alaska's best lodge. Wildlife is abundant, from bears and deer to eagles and whales, and let's not forget the reason you're here, the fishing. Halibut, salmon, lingcod, rockfish, true cod, and more. It's all waiting for you in abundance at Sportsman's Cove Lodge. Book your trip today at alaskasbestlodge.com. That's alaskasbestlodge.com for Sportsman's Cove Lodge.
Hunting and fishing are exercises in hope. Before you head into the woods, you hope to tag out on a deer you'll have to field dress. Before you make that first cast, you hope for a big fish to clean and fillet. When your hopes are realized, you'll need a sharp knife. Whether you sharpen that blade on a power sharpener in the shop or a manual sharpener in the field, WorkSharp has the tool for you. Look for WorkSharp products in sporting goods stores near you or online at WorkSharpTools.com.
Welcome back to America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. We've got something really exciting and new and innovative to tell you about for this holiday season. It is the ultimate fishing system just released by Lowrance. And if you are looking to really up your game and compete at the tournament level and win at the tournament level when it comes to bass and walleye and other fishing, this is for you. With us here to tell you more about the ultimate fishing system for Lowrance is Neil Combs. Neil, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, everyone. Excited to talk about some of the great new products coming from Lowrance just in time for Christmas.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's some folks who are going to definitely want this for Christmas. Why don't you go ahead and explain what makes up the quote-unquote ultimate fishing system from Lowrance?
Yep, so the ultimate fishing system is a fully networking system, and it starts with a command center. So we basically have our MFDs or our HDS units where we control everything, and this is full control from the bow to the stern. So major key components are from our C-map, so we're able to go through and dictate areas where we're trying to, attack or try to cover the water, because majority of the time, if we can eliminate 90% of that water, then we're eliminating most of that work, right? So we're able to go through depth shade. Starting from the front of the boat, we do have our trolling motor. We have a Ghost trolling motor in which we can have a anchoring mode. It's super powerful and quiet. Attached to that, we can also add what's called our 3-in-1 nose cone, so it gives us the ability to run a full 360 view, and we can also attach our live sonar. So our live forward-facing sonar is known as Active Target, and we do have a new one that is soon to hit the market called Active Target 2. So we're able to see the lure in front of us, we're able to dictate structure and see the fish swimming around. And then also on that command center, we can have our communications from VHF radios or audio controls, and it's absolutely awesome. We can actually go through and we can change our songs, we can change the volume if we need to, all from our actual GPS unit. And then, of course, the sonar being on the stern of the boat. So when we're idling around or trying to find any of that structure, we have our new Active Imaging HD. So we've got side scan, down scan, 2D sonar, making it super easy to actually find structure and where fish are holding. And then as well as we have full engine integration. We work with Mercury, Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki, and anyone that runs an Evinrude motor, and then as well as our onboard chargers or power pole system. So everything, again, being at your command center, and everyone says, that's a lot, isn't it? But the biggest thing is you want to make your day on the water as easy as possible, and we want to try to innovate and make customers spend less time finding fish and more time catching fish.
I don't think there's anybody out there that has such an integrated system that combines all of these different electronics, is there?
Out on the market, you will see some that aren't as fully involved, but the biggest thing is I like to consider one as a hot dog with only mustard on it and one as a fully loaded hot dog. So we work with multiple brands of trolling motors, so whether it's Motor Guide, Lowrance, Rodan, same thing with our audio controllers, Clarion, JL Audio, and then on the outboard side, as I mentioned, there's multiple outboards on there. So we try to open up to as many systems, because there's nothing worse than you buying a Motor Guide trolling motor or a Rodan and not being able to link with that. So on our side, we do have a fairly open network on our side and try to play fair with everyone.
In other words, folks, not only does Lowrance have the hot dog with the mustard, it's also got the ketchup and the onions and the relish too. So that's another way of looking at this here. Let's talk about the HDS Pro. That's kind of the centerpiece of the Ultimate Fishing System. How does this console-mounted fish finder sonar unit differ from previous models?
So the HDS Pro, this year, we've actually brought a new lineup of our screen sizes. So in the previous side, we've had 7, 9, 12, and 16s. Moving to the HDS Pro, we actually are running a 9, a 10, a 12, and a 16. And the 10 is all that perfect size of that in between. Sometimes the console may be too big for a 12, but the small doesn't take up that enough area for you to get that full coverage. So we've brought in a new screen size. We actually have a direct plug-and-play with Active Imaging HD as well. So saying that, we are actually in the megahertz range, so we can run our frequency channel up to 1.2 on our side-scan transducer without any additional boxes. So if a customer is trying to upgrade, let's say their HDS Live, they want to run Active Imaging HD, you will need a processor box as opposed to the Pro where we don't. And now some people may say, hey, are we trying to make extra money? No, think of it as a two-wheel drive F-150 and then a four-wheel drive. Although it looks the same, it doesn't have the physical hardware to enable that. So the frequency channel being at 1.2, the HDS Live actually doesn't have that hardware to run it. So that's where you'd have to have the processor box. And we also have some other upgraded pieces on our overlay options. So you also have what's called Scout Overlay. so we can overlay our scout mode on our active target or active target 2 onto the chart and actually see where we're in correlation with our waypoint. We also have Go 360 overlay and some awesome new trolling motor features as well. So on the trolling motor features, we have an anchor and orbit from a distance. One of the craziest things I always see, I go to like a pro's boat or a customer's boat and I'll look at their waypoints, and they've got waypoints everywhere. They'll have their main waypoint of the brush pile or the structure, and then waypoints of where they're actually anchoring at and casting. So it kind of clutters the screen, right?
Right.
So to make things simplified is now we actually have the ability that I can tap on that actual waypoint and I can anchor from a distance, and I can tell it, is it 50 foot I want to anchor at? Is it 100 foot? So it's less clutter on the screen, and being able to have that touchscreen command center and the dual hybrid makes it absolutely phenomenal. And entering waypoint names and being able to use your cursor in rough water or to be able to toggle through makes it seamless.
Oh, this sounds fantastic. And yes, I'm one of those boaters that has waypoints littered all over the place to the point where I wonder why I even marked this one once upon a time. So that sounds fantastic. Let's talk about resolution. I mean, I have a Hook Reveal 7 that I bought 2 or 3 years ago. Absolutely love it because it's so easy to use and intuitive to use. But I understand that the resolution on the HDS Pro is just like putting my Hook Reveal kind of like in the minor leagues, isn't it?
Yes. And as we go up in our category systems, we have a good, better, best, where we try to have on that best, it is the ultimate clarity on there, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Once you get up to that resolution, the biggest thing is where we really see the difference is going to be on our structure scan. And as we go through the granularity, it's way clearer on the actual HDS. So we have more pixels per piece of there. So it's almost like if you try to type in Google when I was doing a college assignment and trying to copy and paste a photo, and one looks really blurry, and then you have one that's a crisp HD. Think of that one being as your HDS Pro now. Just the clarity is phenomenal. I mean, we can even see, I've seen anchors on the bottom with the ropes attached to them, and you can actually see the rope on there. Fish look absolutely great in size. The clarity is just absolutely phenomenal. Detail is definitely amazing from what we've seen in the past years.
All right, last question. What does the Ultimate Fishing System retail for, and is it available now?
So the Ultimate Fishing System is actually put together per a customer's wants and needs. So on the price point, we can kind of differentiate that where we want to be. So we can go from a 9-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch screen. So it can range anywhere from a couple thousand of starting your system. But the beautiful part about it is we can build a system with the trolling motor, live sonar, and we can go, as crazy as it sounds, all the way up to a $15,000 mark if a customer wants to get crazy and run multiple live sonars on the front now. But the beautiful part about it is it being a networking sonar or a networking platform is we don't have to do it all at once. We can always tag in and buy another piece, such as a secondary unit. We're even seeing people run 3 units now on the bow of some of the bass boats and walleye guys. So we can add to the system. There's no need to do it immediately. It's always planning for the future.
Okay, so whether you want to upgrade completely or do it a little bit at a time, the Ultimate Fishing System is waiting for you from Lowrance. Find out more at Lowrance.com. That's the website to go to, LOWRANCE, Lowrance.com, and check out the Ultimate Fishing System. And if you really want something special for Christmas, I think this will do the trick. Neil, thanks for sharing this with us today on America Outdoors Radio.
Thank you.
Last but not least, if you're looking for a Christmas gift for somebody in your life, well, you might want to consider buying them either a firearm or a knife and tool sharpener. And you can get those from our sponsors, Henry Repeating Arms and WorkSharp. We'll start off with Henry Repeating Arms. That's the company that makes over 200 models of firearms. A lot of them lever action rifles. Look like they came right out of the Old West, and they're made right here in the USA. They're all reliable, they're all rugged, they're all accurate, and they come with a lifetime satisfaction guarantee. And you can find them at sporting goods stores and firearms dealers all over the country. If you want to find out exactly where they are, just go to henryusa.com. Look for the authorized dealers. If you have any questions, ask the award-winning customer service staff, and don't forget to ask for your decals and catalog while you're there. As for WorkSharp, you'll find their products, their knife and tool sharpeners that are great for the field, great for the shop, and great for the kitchen in sporting goods stores all over the country. You can also check them out at worksharptools.com and take advantage of some of the holiday specials they've got going for you right now. On that note, we have got to go, but here's hoping you are blessed as this holiday season continues. And here's hoping you get to spend some time in nature too. After all, it is your country and you're outdoors, so get out there and enjoy it.